Afternoon. PTSD special. I'm going to grab my coffee. If microphone helps, doesn't it? Microphone helps. Okay, so I'm just going to check. We should be good to go. Good afternoon. How are you? Yeah, PTSD special. Let's get started. Fools should be with us anytime soon. The invite has been sent, so we just have to wait it out. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I need a fag. I'm a little bit nervous, I got to admit. Yaim, welcome back. Yes, I was on earlier. However, my daughter couldn't make it this morning, unfortunately. So we've got 5 guys viewing, 3 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Yeah, I'm nervous. This is new to me doing this, so yeah, cigarette is a fag. Now, none of that, thank you. Are we all set? Are we raring to go? Coffee. What's new? So this, as long as everything goes to plan, is a PTSD special with a special guest, Fool's Errand. Hopefully he will be along shortly. The invite has been sent. I don't know how it works. I could only contact him via email, so yeah, you missed one, Yaim. We was on for about 2.5 hours. Well, 2 and a bit hours at least. If you go into your notification things, your notification settings for this, you can set it to notify you every time I go live. May get a bit annoying though. So let's see. How are we set? Are we all right? We good to go? Perp, you good, man? Can you tell I'm nervous? So, Phil's and I have only actually spoken on his live stream. I don't care what I look like. I look like what I am. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just nervous. So yeah, we've only really chatted on his live feed, his live streams, and he's a top bloke. I like him. He's pretty blunt, a bit like me. Okay. Mate, you've no idea how much of a victory this is. Um, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to check my emails. It was actually this morning. I think it was about 2 minutes past 10 my time. So yeah, you should have got the notification. 8 ball. This is a big victory today, mate. Let's have it. Good job. I'm fucking shitting myself. Shitting myself. I actually feel right now how I felt when I did my first live feed. And that was fucking scary. It's all new, isn't it? You know? It's all new. Coffee. Don't do that. Yeah, I might make a mess. I don't want to make a mess. You're not understanding. So this is a duet live feed. So it will be myself and a special guest that will be talking about PTSD. Hopefully he arrives. He turns up. I don't think he'd let me down. He seemed like a genuine bloke, so I think we're good. Yeah, special guest. I hope you guys have got a lot of questions prepared. Yeah, I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would. Yeah, I hope you've got questions prepared to kick things off. Because it's all fucking new to me. I need to change that to that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have no coffee left at this rate. You're fucking drinking it too fast. Tara, no worries. What caused my PTSD? Childhood trauma. Childhood trauma. It's something that I have gone into in the past. I had an abusive stepfather. I don't mean the one that I call dad. My mum's husband when I was younger. Putting it bluntly, he was a twat. So he beat me on a daily basis. There was other aspects of abuse with from him, including my sisters as well. So, but that's not my story to tell. That's all about them. But yeah, I was beaten by the twat on a daily basis from the age of 3 up until I was 11. So yeah, and that was that. Yeah, very true. He was a scumbag that I did confront when I was in my 30s, in my late 30s. I didn't hit him, had no need to. But I had the satisfaction of standing in front of him and asking him why. And he couldn't answer me. He couldn't tell me. I just told him he was nothing but a coward. Boom, 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 boom. Don't apologise, mate. Not at all. If I keep disappearing, I'm keeping an eye on my emails. That's very true. Yeah, appreciate you. So if you can't read very well, Abel said, just remember the kid grows up. So kind of like when people hit their dogs, don't be surprised when it bites back. That's, it's a good way of looking at it, actually. I'm all on edge. I'm all on edge. Anxiety's kicking in. Fucking hell. It's fucking windy out there today, guys. Wind is howling. Absolutely howling. What I need to do, I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm going to grab the laptop. Go on, then. In you go. Good boy. Go on. In you go. Oh, the weather's pretty shit. Oh, I should have thought of this earlier. Seriously, the wind is absolutely fucking howling out there. Do, 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 do. Pick my nose. Like that. There we go. Dum, 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 dum. Set up. Set up. I need to get everything where I need it to be. Yeah, the wind fucking batters us where we are. We have got trees either side of the house, which does break it a little bit. But yeah, it absolutely batters us. Dum, 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 dum. Where's the channel? Let's see. This house dates back to the 50s. Stabworthy, how are you doing? I saw you were live. No, actually, I didn't see you live last night. Boom, 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 boom. Channel looks different. Everything looks different today. Why does it look different, mate? What's different about it? Yeah, I think it was built in 52 or 53, something like that. Ah, okay. Yeah, very old. Not as old as what I'm used to working on. It looks different too. It could be because it's a duet, so I can invite people to join in. Yeah, it's going to be because it's a duet. Hopefully, um, Phil's will be with us. It's early in the morning for him. I believe it's about 9 a.m. Why this house? What do you mean, why this house? Why do I live in this house? So we live in one of the workers' cottages on a farm. Um, the house a little bit further up the lane is where my wife was born. So the next door, but it's not next door. It's a little bit further up the lane. My wife was born in it, so it's like coming home for her. So that's why. And it was in the. It's where we want to be. I needed to be out of town. I wanted to get out of town, and this was perfect. I got places to go. I can walk. I can live my life without worrying about people. So it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's cool. Bum, 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 bum. Oh. I'm just about getting used to how the laptop version of YouTube works. It's kind of weird. DDA, thank you. Yeah, a month ago, I was fucking terrified about doing this. I'm getting used to it now. I am getting used to it now. La 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 la. I keep getting up these fucking Q&A things. They keep coming up at the bottom of the screen. Kind of annoying. Why not want to do a Q&A? I don't. Where is everyone? Nobody's chatting. Channel. I'm definitely going to need another coffee. DDA, do you think it's the beard? Do you think that's what makes it look, making it look different? Waiting for the chat, yeah. It's if Yaim, have you actually got it downloaded? Is it on your phone? Okay, so if you click on the link that's in my description for Discord, it'll take you to the channel. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. Alex, how are you doing? Welcome. And then did the sign up. Okay, so if you click on the link, do I have depression? Yes, I do, but the channel isn't just about me. The channel is about everybody that gets involved. So we talk about everything that is depression and anxiety related. Do I believe in God? Fuck off. What are you doing? You want to ask me one thing? Go on then. Jacqueline, how are you? Amen to fucking off. How do people with depression feel? How does anyone feel? It's not about how you feel. It's not. Depression isn't just this. I feel sad. Depression's much more than that. So, what is it that you're asking? I can't read anything for a minute, so give me a sec. Yeah, what is it you're asking? It is. It's a really hard question. It's not about how do you feel. Did you miss the event? No, you didn't. Not yet. I'm hoping that you won't miss it. I'm hoping that it is going to happen anytime soon. Let me just double check. No word yet. No word yet. I hope I haven't got the time wrong. I hope I haven't got anything wrong. There's so many different aspects to depression. It's a feeling of being worthless. It's a feeling of being useless. Like it's hard to. It's so hard to put into words. Everything's overpowering. Welcome back, Carol. Yeah, guilt. You might have it. If you've got depression, generally, you know you've got depression. But you might be in denial. You might think, oh, no, I wouldn't have depression. Why would I have depression? I've got nothing to be depressed about. I mean, I look at where I live and how I live and what I've got around me, and I think, well, I've got fucking nothing to be depressed about. But then you realise that actually, yeah, you have. Being depressed isn't about being sad. It's about being overwhelmed. It's about being underwhelmed sometimes. It's about having nothing to do, but not wanting to do anything. It's about having lots to do and not being able to do anything. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean, Jan. Rebecca, welcome. Alex, thank you. Again, it's not about me, mate. It's about you guys. That's all that matters. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I agree with that, Jan. Go and see a doctor. Get checked out. Tell the doctor how you feel and why you feel it. Typically now, my emails are not updating because I'm waiting for them to update. Grief is definitely a big problem. It can take over. Master, nice. Yeah, I mean, in honesty, exercise is a massive help. So getting out and walking and just getting on with that sort of thing, it is a massive help to your well-being, and it does make a big difference. Chill, how are you doing? And welcome to the channel. Quitting alcohol and ciggies is definitely good, mate. Well done for that. Boom, 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 boom. I don't really know anything about medical ketamine, to be fair. Dun, 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 dun. Chill. Me too, and it's all about control, for me especially. And I can normally keep depression in check. I can normally stay on top of how I'm feeling. Um, but yeah, it is. It's all about control. Yeah, losing jobs. It's not losing jobs isn't something that's been a problem for me. I was self-employed for a long time. Um, However, when I stopped working because of my shoulder, I have osteoarthritis. So when I stopped working, that's when the depression started to take hold again. Um, and you don't see it coming. You don't realize that you're getting back into that rut. And it's really difficult to deal with. Hopefully, Rebecca, now I have the channel up and running, you will have somewhere to open up and you don't need to suffer in silence. Chill. No, nobody will at the moment. It's still a new thing. So it's something that's still uh, being trialed, I guess. They don't know how it's going to work. They don't know if it's going to have long-term implications or even short-term implications. I keep going freezing because I'm keeping an eye on my. I think a lot of people are clueless, and the only way of moving forward is for them to suffer it themselves. So if they don't know how it feels to be to suffer from depression and anxiety, then they're not going to know how to understand it. All they're going to know is what they've read in books that has been pieced together by interviews from different people and that sort of stuff. I don't know. It's really hard for anyone to comprehend if they've not been through it. Yeah, books and research, but that books and research has come from interviews with people that suffer with depression and anxiety. I don't know what that is, Master. Master. I don't know what that is. Um, that is on top chat, and it should be on live chat. There we go. Yeah, me too. I wish I had a normal brain, but I haven't. You better not have fleas again, Doug. What have you been doing? What have you been doing? Hmm? Ah, okay. Native Americans have got things worked out, I think. Chill. Saying that you don't have any reason to be depressed, I get it. I look around at what I've got, and to be fair, I don't have any reason to be depressed, but here I am. 5:36 in Alaska. What now? Are you joking? Danny, how you doing? Nice one, mate. Is it 5:36 in Alaska now? Oh, fuck. That means that I fucked up then. I'm guessing. So this live stream is supposed to happen at 9 a.m. for Fools. And I believe Fools is in Alaska. Let me double check this. Let me check it. Let me check it. Let me check it. Boom, 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 boom. That could be why he's not here. I'm glad you found it as well. Let's click on that. Aha, there we go. Fools, how you doing, mate?
Man, you got me like way off kilter. You were like 9 o'clock. And I was like, that's like an hour ahead or something. And I looked and I'm like, oh my God, he's live right now, just as I wake up.
Yeah, what time is it now then?
Oh. Like, you're getting to see things that no one else gets to see. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I'll go. I don't think I've ever jumped on live that fast in my life.
Don't stress, Matt. Don't stress. We're here.
Oh.
We've just been sat, chilling, waiting, carefully, quietly, and yeah, it is what it is, bro.
I thought I had at least an hour. So
What time is it? 9 o'clock?
No, it's 7:41.
You're cutting
Let
in
the
and out
dog
there,
out.
bud.
Give me a sec.
No worries.
Come on. I gotta let the dog use the restroom.
My timing obviously sucks.
It's all good. I just didn't want you sitting around for an hour waiting on me.
I would have done that anyway, mate. It wouldn't have been a problem.
Welcome, everybody. My name's Fool's Aaron, and this is my garage.
You spend a lot of time in there, don't you?
I'm gonna try to stop. Actually, not the live stream so much, but like I think you met me this rotation home, and I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, right? Sorry, I got to check on the dog.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely coffee time, I think. And yes, that is Bigfoot.
Oof. So, am I correct in stating that it's the UK, right?
Yes, mate.
Ah, what part?
I live in Devon. Originally, I'm from Manchester area, sort of Cheshire, so the other side of Manchester. But I don't know how well you know the UK.
Uh, you say Manchester, I think of Euro trip and football and people trying to fight each other over
Yeah,
soccer. What we call soccer, what you
fucking
guys call
idiots.
football. Look, man, we're here to talk about coping mechanisms, right?
We are
What,
indeed.
what's the best coping mechanism in the world except for distraction, right? Or at least the most self-prescribed coping mechanism. I shouldn't say the best, but some people they lose themselves in things. Sorry, I'm wiping off my screen. They lose themselves in things that way they can not have to think about whatever it is that they're trying to get away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me
So for
too,
me,
man. Go ahead.
I'll sort of distract myself with. I've just started doing stupid fucking carving things. Do you know what I mean? Silly things. But to distract myself, normally I'll go out in a garage. I've got an old Land Rover in there, and I'll sort of tinker away with that. I'm not allowed a bike these days. The wife won't let me have one, so I play with the Land Rover.
I, I'm sorry, but like, tell me a better British sentence. I got a Land Rover on the back. I'm like, oh, you all, dude. Like, you're just feeding into all the American stereotypes right here. Just, oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Do you know what? I bought the Land Rover as just. I've always wanted one. I always wanted a Land Rover, and I wanted a Defender, and I couldn't afford one. So I bought myself a Discovery. You do have Discoveries over there, don't you? The
We have
300
Defenders too.
TDIs.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I've had a Discovery. It was in a
Was
rollover
it
and I got
a
it for
300?
$500, but it did run.
Yeah. So that's the good thing. They do. And change a couple of bits here and there, and you've always got a motor there. Well, I've had this one for like 13 years, and it's now stripped back, and I'm in the process of rebuilding because the wife likes to reverse it into granite gate posts and all that sort of shit, as women do. So my wife, obviously, you've never met my wife, but she can break a steel ball. And yeah, it's a challenge, mate. It's a challenge.
Man, I have the tear down part of that down down flat. I am the greatest, worst mechanic ever. And I can tear it to pieces, no problem. Putting it back together, I'm like, I'm bored.
Do you end up with loads of parts left over as well?
I got a whole parts truck right here.
Yeah, I saw you trying to give that away the other night.
Well, here's the story of the truck if you're new to my channel. Because I'm altruistic, I guess you want to say. I bought this truck and the truck outside. There's two of them, right? So this one has a bad engine, but a good title. The one outside has a bad title, but it's got a good engine. And I was going to tear this one out, put that one in with another guy. Okay. Because I was like, this guy kept going from truck to truck to truck to truck. He would buy something and then he didn't know how to maintain it or fix it or whatever. So I was going to show, like, I'm a certified mechanic, right? I was going to show him, hey, we're going to put this together to, like, both of us, we're going to put this together. And then you're never going to have to worry about this not running again because I'm going to go through absolutely everything. We're going to fix everything before we put it back together, tear the T case apart, tear the transmission apart, do all that. I'm going to show you how this works. And then I also have an engine that I get to rebuild and put in a go-kart or something stupid, right? He worked on it for 1 day. One. I was giving this man a free truck and he didn't want to put in the effort.
Feel free to send them over here, mate.
Well, you were talking about Defenders. Do you know what Miss Rainey wants? That's Miss Rainey. Shameless plug. She wants a Defender. So we went to Tennessee, right? Because I was working a job in Tennessee. And there was this Defender, and it was unlike any Defender I've ever seen. I swore it was white as a Humvee, right? When I'm like, I've never seen this before. I've seen Defenders before. This did not. All black. Whoever had it had this giant rope wrapped around the front, like they're going to go towing, but you're not using a tow rope. You're just using like this big whatever. She immediately fell in love with it. And I was like, baby, you don't understand. That's a military truck. So she was like, what? I'm like, come on. So I open up the door of this thing. What's the channel again? It's Fools period Aaron. So fools.aaron. But I open up the compartment of this. Everything is toggle switches, right? There's nothing like no creature comforts. If you want the heater, it is a toggle switch, turn the cable, not there nothing's intuitive. And she was like, I
Thank
love
you,
this thing.
Kirsty.
And I'm like, how much do you guys want for it? They're like 85,000. I was like, no. Just walked away.
They
And then
are
Miss Rainey,
expensive, but there's no comfort in them.
oh no.
No comfort whatsoever. If you've got to go for a long drive in one of them, you're going to be hurting by the end of it.
There is, excuse me, that is really
Don't
cold
choke.
and I'm just waking up. There is a Humvee for sale and it's $7,900, right? $7,000, 6,900, something like that. In the city that I live north of. So I would still have to find a way to get it home. But they're like, doesn't start, engine's still good, check the compression, and it's at a dealership, so they're just trying to get rid of it. And I'm like, I can do $7,000. Like I'd have to move some things and move like just dropping out $7,000 is not something that I could do, but like I could find a way, right? And I was like, do I buy that just strictly to show people how to work on it? Like I can, out of the top of my mind right now, I could put a Humvee together if you sent me the kit, right? I could build the whole engine. I can build the tranny. I can build the transfers, the diffs, the frame. I I could build the body. I got a rivet gun. Like it is not that hard of a thing to do, right? You got to understand that everyone looks at a Humvee and is like, ooh. I look at a Humvee as the military built this thing so kids directly out of high school could fix it. Like, as long as you have a little bit of know-how when it comes to a Humvee, they'll run forever. But up here, the thing about America, when you buy the Humvee, the biggest difficulty is getting the on-highway title. because the military loves to sell these with off-highway titles,
Right.
which means that the Humvee is the greatest side by side you'll ever see. The problem with that is that our trails are made for side by sides and motorcycles, not a machine that was designed to be so wide that it can drive down tank tracks.
And you know all about that, which brings us to your um, affliction of PTSD.
Oh, yes, that.
Ah, the
So,
um, the epitome of sadness, I guess.
well, I do go through that. If everybody's that's not tracking, hi, I served 9 years in the military with 3 combat deployments. Oh, they're gonna make me sit down and get serious,
We know it's serious when you get a chair.
right? This is so true. Oh, well, I guess I better start this off with this story. So, we all know 2001, what happened, right? I was a sophomore in high school and I watched the planes hit the towers. And at that very moment, I was like, well, I don't know who did that, but I'm going to go find him. So, 2 weeks out of high school, I had already signed up prior to me graduating high school. 2 weeks out of high school, I immediately joined the military. I went to Fort Knox. Well, originally I went to sign up as infantry. This is a small but funny story. And I was going to be infantry, but I was also signing up when I was 17, which means that it's up to the parents, right? And I just kept the um, telling the recruiter, I said, just say 11 Bravo. Just say 11 Bravo. Do not say infantry. And he slipped up one time, and my mom was on the desk with the paper, like tearing it apart. Right. And I was like, stop. I'll be a mechanic. Because the whole idea was to go infantry and then go be a mechanic. Like reclass later, but I wanted to do the infantry thing just to say that like I did my time, right? And I signed up as infantry. I went to base or as a mechanic. I went to basic training at Fort Knox. I went originally, this is something I cover all the time, and people are going to find this dumb, but it's a numbers game. I signed up as a 63 Sierra, which is a heavy wheel and light wheel troubleshooter. My whole job was to investigate, find the problem, and then pass it off to eager hands on to fix it. My job was not to fix it. My job was to be so in tune with the machine that I could find the problem, right?
Yeah.
The military didn't like this idea because you had me, the troubleshooter, you had whiskeys, which were the heavy fixed repairs. We're going to tear apart engines, put them back together. And you had 63 Bravos, which were like, I can change a power steering pump, like just parts changes, right? Well, the military didn't like the fact that my little E2 could go up to an E6 and be like, hey, this is the problem. Have a good one and walk away. So during my military enlistment, they combined all 3 of those jobs and turned us all into 63 Bravos, which wasn't bad for the Sierras and the Whiskeys because we could obviously do each other's job, right? But the Bravos that knew nothing about troubleshooting, they knew nothing about replacing engines, like, tearing apart an engine or anything like that. They were having a real hard time because they're just like, oh, OJT, on job training, you'll figure it out. And these guys were like, I don't know I don't know, right? Okay. So while I was in the military, I went from 63 Sierra, 63 Bravo to a 91 Bravo because they reclassed all military maintenance jobs in the Army to the 91 series. So if you're a pump mechanic, 91 Hotel or Juliet or whatever, tank mechanic, 91 Hotel, everybody that's in maintenance is a 91, right? Now, all the training stuff out of the way. Because I wanted to be infantry so bad, I guess Mother Army heard me and they sent me to this new unit because I'm going to introduce you to the dumbness of the United States military and like very fast. I was attached to this unit called 426 BSB, which is Battalion Support Battalion, right?
Okay.
Or Brigade Support Battalion, excuse me. Now, 426 BSB was also given to the 2nd 327 Infantry Division. So one of the people that they had to cover was the 2nd 327 Infantry Division. When I showed up, they had cooked up this idea, and this is going to make a lot of sense, but you guys need to know the backstory. That they're going to give an entire company to the 2nd 327 Infantry as a forward support company, so an FSC. When they did that, I showed up, right? I showed up around Christmas time. I was the first soldier of this forward support company. Okay. Their genius idea and why I was talking about the training was to take all the Juliets or all the Sierras and the whiskeys, the high-end guys I was talking about, and we're going to put them in this forward support company. Unbeknownst, not knowing what the hell they're doing, because now you have all the heavy hitters before the military combine these jobs. You're putting these into a forward support company.
Yeah.
That in turn made a 5th level shop. What do I mean by that? So your low level shops, your 1s, 2s, and 3s, they'll change tires, level 1, change parts, change engines, but not rebuild them. Level 5, highest you can go in the military when it came to the level of shops. Because now you have a shop that's filled with Sierras and whiskeys. Obviously, it's a heavy rebuild shop. That's also a forward support company. Did you see the problem there? So all these people that are coming back off of leave, all that, they're like, hey, you're no longer in this battalion. You're attached to the 2nd 327 Infantry. 2nd 327 Infantry had never had a forward support company. This is a brand new idea to them. Well, they did not know how to treat us like mechanics.
Okay.
They treated us as mechanics or infantry guys with a toolbox. We just have another thing to throw, which I loved. Okay. I am not complaining about that at all. I still got 101st. You guys can kind of see it right there.
Yep.
This changed my whole mindset in the military because I went from like, oh, you're going to have this cush job as a mechanic. They didn't know that. They had no idea that, like, hey, we get different training. No, we didn't. We were clearing rooms for our training. We were doing live fire exercises and how to throw grenades and doing the go no go gauge on a 50 cal. And I've shot more rounds in that unit, in that section of my life, than I have ever shot bullets for the rest of my life. I've, 1 millions of dollars in rounds have gone through my hands, right? So when we got deployed, they were like, "What do you mean that you're not going out? Like, we got to fix your stuff, dude." And they're like, "But you're not gonna do um like going out the wire and stuff." We're like, "You keep breaking shit left and right." No. Their response was, every single time that we go out the gate, someone tries to fix the trucks with a Gerber. So no convoy is going to leave the wire without a mechanic.
Yeah.
Now we had a group of mechanics, me being one of them, that rotated in and out of these, and we were gone. We'd come back. We were gone. We'd come back. We were gone. We'd come back. So it was like when everyone's like, he's a pogue, right? Pogue is personnel other than grunt, or if you want to say it the military way, piece of grunt shit, right? I had an entire battalion of infantry guys that would sit there and fight you because they're saying that, oh, you didn't go out the wire. No, I went out the wire actually more than the infantry because my little ass was rotating through Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So when they got a 12-hour rest, I was taking my toolbox out of one truck and putting it in the other one. Right? We were always living out the wire. God,
Yeah.
my mom, you better not watch this. Because I kind of lied to her a little bit, but she knows. I'll explain that in a minute. So Iraq does what Iraq do, and we come back home. This is the story about my mom. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm just getting back. You don't need to come visit me or anything like that. And she was like, yes, I do. Shut up. So they bought a new car. They drove across the country. They came and see me in the airport, right? Sitting in the airport. Everybody's hugging and loving on their family. Oh my God, you're back, blah, blah, blah. And it's loud. It's loud. And in the midst of all this, my mom goes, did you like, what did you do downrange? Like, kind of asking, was I safe? And I looked at her dead in the eyes and I said, I never went out the wire. I never did anything dangerous. I was safe, perfectly safe the whole time. My mom, full hand, cocks back and like knocks me across the face, slaps the shit out of me. And she goes, never lie to me again. And when she hit me, I didn't realize the whole airport, everybody, silent as a field mouse, just quiet. Everyone's like, did she just slap the shit out of him? Like, it was loud, loud. And I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I love you. Do not ask questions you do not want the answers to. At that moment, my mom had immediately picked up what I was trying to say. And she never asked about it again. But my mom's kind of a badass in this story too. So halfway through Iraq, I got orders to go to Germany. I denied those orders because I didn't want to leave my boys, right? When you
Yeah.
deny orders in the United States military, that takes away your ability to re-enlist. Within a week of me denying those orders, I got orders from the DOD Pentagon. You cannot deny these orders to go to the unit that I said I will not go to. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to Germany, fat boy, get on the plane. So this is like kind of the start of my PTSD. Reason I say this is that the military is flawed in this, and I got fucked, right? Excuse my language on your channel. I'm trying to be good.
Swear as much as you like, mate.
So, unlike everybody else that I went through this hell with, that had each other to bounce off of, that could slowly roll back into the military, but you have like this cover shield because you got all your boys, right? I went from a family of dudes that I would kill for in the street today. Okay. No, you can always deny one you can deny orders one time, but it takes away your ability to reenlist. It's not a dishonorable discharge, it's not any of that. You have one deny in your military pocket, but then you can't reenlist. No, no negative consequences. Now, if you don't go to movement, then that's miss a movement. Anyway, sorry, I was answering your comment section. So I went to Germany. Not only had nobody deployed, but I didn't know anybody. So I'm just this freak walking around I went to the first of the 214th, 12th Cab Aviation, VIP, non deployable.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a culture shock? Nobody, like the NCOs didn't even have people standing at parade rest for them. Privates just walked around talking with their hands. And I'm just having a solid meltdown. Like just not being able to grips what the hell's going on. So, step one in fool's errands process. When I joined the military, why did I leave Nevada? Because I saw myself, I saw where I was going, and I said, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life because I'm going to end up in drugs, in jail. I'm going to be a drunk. I'm going to do all it's Nevada, right? Either you're
Yeah.
responsible like somebody else or you're me and you're going to fall into it. So the military, once again, in its genius idea, sent me to Germany where I can drink legally, technically underage if I was in the United States. Bravo, you dumb. Right? Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not saying the cards are stacked against me because here's the truth. At any given moment, I could have pulled my head out of my ass and been responsible. Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
blaming the military, but the military is a great enabler. Here you
Yeah.
go.
They're good
You
at
know
putting
what
you
I
in that
mean?
position, aren't they?
Yeah. Because keep in mind, I signed up when I was 17. I turned 18 in basic training. I turned 19 in Iraq. I got to Germany, I would have to say September, so a month after I turned 20. Now I'm just getting shithoused, right? And everyone thinks that I'm this big pile of shit, right? I do my job, but all they hear is the moment. And I had an NCO ask me this. He says, do I have a question for you? I said, go ahead, Sergeant. Because I'm still, yes, Sergeant, no, Sergeant. That's who I am. He goes, is it true that the moment that you're off work, you put a bottle of Jack Daniels to your lips and you don't put it down until it's gone? Keep in mind, I'm a 20-year-old kid, so I'm also a smartass. And I said, Sergeant, not only is that not possible, because I would die, and I'd love to claim that, but no, like, I don't drink Jack Daniels. And he was like, God, fools. And I'm just like, yeah, right. But I was ev- all my weekends, all my time off, all that I just spent being blackout. And everyone thought that I was this horrible soldier, right? And my first sergeant, he came into the unit the same time I did. And he just saw me. I was from the infantry. You put me underneath halogen lights, I'm going to sleep, right? Just done. Because that's the way the infantry was. If you have a chance to sleep, you sleep because you don't know when the next time you're going to get this opportunity. So that's the way your brain, your body's programmed. So they took me to the field one time. Where do I excel? The field, right? We're just doing training exercises. We didn't go down range, just training exercises. And I went from this drunk that is like not worthless. I did my job, but like, you want me to do anything else above and beyond? No, right? Not me. I went from that guy to stepping in the field, looking at everything that everybody's doing wrong. I'm screaming, getting a wishbone formation. I want 360 security, NCOs. What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck. Like, I'm just yelling at everybody, setting up this whole, like, this is how you go to war, right? And my first sergeant's like, where the has this been? You know, you flipped script on me. You went from horrible to like the best field soldier we have. I'm screaming at people that outrank me twice, going, what the does that? What did I do in the infantry? If I had a weekend off, yeah, I drank, but I didn't get weekends off. We went to the field for months on end. I lived this. And I'm
Yeah.
watching everybody just like, it was like watching a, a Boy Scout troop trying to do 360 security. So I'm pissed immediately, screaming at everybody. I'm getting everybody where they need to be. I'm setting up talks. I'm doing all. And my first sergeant was like, we get back from the training exercise because our training exercises are a day long. You want to talk about nuts? And he goes, in my office now. Because I've been walking around with a combat patch. You guys know anything about 101st? It is the most, I would say, molested combat patch there is because everybody wants to be in 101st. And 101st is so big that if they want, like, oh, we need field surgeons, they're just going to reach through the army, pull out this unit, and then this unit gets to wear a combat patch of 101st. But they were never in 101st. They deployed with us, under us, but they didn't do everything in garrison. Like, I was in E2. I went to air assault school. If you guys don't know what that is, it's jumping out of a helicopter on a rope, learning how to lift up Humvees and other things with helicopters, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I did that as a private E2, right? So I'm walking around with airborne, or not airborne wings, air assault wings. And he goes, that eagle's real because we called them fake eagles if they were just attached. And I
Yeah.
goes, yeah. He's like, what unit were you in? I was like, 2nd 327 Infantry, no slack, Bastogne, 101st. And he's like, yeah. Like, knew that he'd been treating me wrong because he thought that I was just some pogue mechanic that never saw anything, right? But this is where like my first sergeant turned from like the guy who hated me to my dad because he just kind of put me under his wing. And First Sergeant Stevens, if you're watching this, I still love you to death, dude. Um, so I started being like in charge of like Op 4 units, trying to teach my soldiers, and I told my guys that I taught you do not shoot them unless they do something wrong. They were putting dudes down left and right because like everybody just didn't know what they were doing. And my first sergeant's like, you have to train them. And I'm like, I'm trying, but like, I told my guys, don't shoot anybody unless they're doing wrong. Obviously, training rounds, not anything deadly.
Yeah.
And just like my unit barely even made it, like maybe 3 people out of 20 would make it to the building before they could even assault it because they're all doing the wrong thing. All right, I'm getting too far into the intricacies here. So I originally signed up for the military for the absolute longest that I could go. Okay. Now everybody sits there and says, oh, I did my 4-year term. term. Technically, that's not accurate. They're rounding up. Okay. The lowest form that you could do in the military is 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The highest first entry enlistment was 5.5 years, right? And I
Okay.
told myself when I signed up for the military, I'm going to force myself to give this a shot. So I signed up for 5.5 years. This is why I went to Germany, because if you're going to go to a new post, you have to have 2 years left in the military. So because I signed up for 5.5 years, my first 2 years were in Fort Campbell. That leaves me 2.5 or 3.5 years. So I got sent to Germany, and I was like the only one that was dumb enough to sign up for 5.5 years. Well, my 5.5 years finally was coming to an end. And my first sergeant comes up to me. Once he started utilizing me the way that he knew he could, he was like, for the love of God, please don't get out of the military. Like, the military will be at a loss if you get out. We just stay in. I'll do whatever, just stay in. And I said, First Sergeant, give me what I've been asking for the last 3 years. Send me downrange. Right? That's all I want. This whole thing has been a waste. I've just been sitting around getting drunk and like trying to stay away from people. Just send me downrange. And he goes, what do you mean you volunteered to go downrange? I was like, we get mission requests all the time. And Sergeant Lane comes up here. It doesn't say anybody's requesting to go down the military or go down range. And I was like, excuse me? Like, no, First Sergeant. Like half the motor pool lifts up their hands trying to get out of here. And he goes, go down, get Sergeant Lang, you bring him back up here, and you come in this office with me. Roger, First Sergeant. So I go down, Sergeant Lang, First Sergeant wants to talk to us. Bring him back upstairs. He goes, Fool, shut the door. Obviously, my name's not Fools, but, people were weird on the internet. And he goes, Sergeant Lang, specialist says that people request to go downrange all the time, but every single time that I give you that, you say you have no volunteers. This man is so bold. He looks at First Sergeant and goes, if I were to send everybody that volunteers to go downrange, First Sergeant, we wouldn't be able to do our mission here.
There'd be no left.
First Sergeant, I've never seen that man so mad. Okay, like he almost picked up his chair and threw it through the second story window. He was like, we are in a non-deployable VIP aviation unit. What does that mean? That means that I fly around the president, the Department of the Department of Defense Secretary. That's what our job is to they decide, some dignitary from the United States decides that they're going to go through a tour of Germany. Who gives a if they don't get to do that, right? When you have an active war going on.
Yeah.
My First Sergeant was pissed, but he knew that Sergeant Lang was trying to get his E7. Hi, I'm the reason you didn't get that, by the way. There's another reason why. Sergeant Lang he checked all the boxes, and there's a whole long story behind that. But the last box he needed was for someone under him to get promoted to the rank of E5, right? That way he can show that he can promote leaders and all this. And the only person that was under him that qualified to be an E5 was me. And he kept pushing on me like, "Oh, we're gonna try to get you promoted and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Sergeant Lang, you need to know something." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "You don't really understand. So let me help you out. I know that the only thing that's holding you back from getting your E7 is getting someone promoted to the rank of E5 under you, which means that I will not get my E5 for the length of the time that you were in the military because I will not force you on any other soldiers. Your career ends here." And I told that to his face. I was furious with that man. Like to this day, I can't stand him. I'll punch him today. Anyway, my first sergeant, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. My
Okay.
first sergeant goes, "You want to go down range?" Done. Within 2 hours, I was scheduled to go to 5th of the 158th out of Katterbach, Germany, which is just outside of Ansbach, Germany. And I was deploying with them with the field surgeons. How do you think I know that 101st can reach through the army and pull out, I don't know, a set of field surgeons? Because they fucking did that with us, right? Now, I'm going to a unit, and this unit is so horrendously bad. I didn't think that it could get worse. The unit that I stepped into that is deploying, right? They go into the motor pool in the morning. They go into the break room. They pull out their phone. They sit there till lunch. They go to lunch. They come back. They go into the break room. They dial on their phones until it's time to go back to their rooms. But we have final formation at the end of the day. At the end of the day, all of a sudden, the E7 that's supposed to be doing his job goes, "Oh, we need to get all of this done by the end of the day. So you guys don't get to go home on time. You're going to go home at 8 o'clock at night because, like, we need to get this done." Right. But he didn't tell anybody all day. They sat around on the phone all day, didn't tell anybody about the job they needed to do.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I was a senior lower enlisted at this time. They're like, "All right, you're in charge." I immediately looked at my guys and said, "Go home." He's like, "You can't do that." And I was like, you gave them to me. You talk to me, I talk to them. That's the chain of command. Go home." And then I said, "You give me a list of everything that you were going to have us do today and tomorrow. When they show up, they're not going to be sitting in the break room all day. They're going to do their job so they can go home when everybody else goes home. And you stop getting this, 'Oh, look at me. My guys are working past the hour because I'm such a hard NCO bullshit.' Yeah, but your guys didn't do anything all day." Right? Because I had a piece of shit NCO. So I started sending my guys home at the time they're supposed to go home. And I kept getting these lists and I kept having them work during the day. Weird military concept. I deploy with these guys. I come back and then I go, there's another story. You cannot re-enlist in garrison with less than 90 days in the military. When I went to re-enlist in order to go to this unit, I had like 94 days, and me and the recruitment officer counted each day, right? We both came up with, I have 94 days, right?
Yeah.
The military on their calendar does not count every day in the military.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, I lost 5 days, which means that the day that I was trying to re-enlist, I had 89 days left in the military.
Oh no.
Right? So they go, don't worry about it. We will stop loss you, volunteer stop loss, which stop loss had been, I'm sure you've heard of stop loss, right?
I've not.
Okay, so the military, they were losing people faster than they were gaining them, and we were in a war, so they put in stop loss. So you
Right.
weren't
Okay.
allowed to get out of the military at this time, but everybody freaked out, so they got rid of stop loss. And then 2 years later, when it's completely been out of the military, somehow I was able to volunteer stop loss-ish, right?
Okay.
So I deploy on my second deployment, and I'm sitting there counting the days because downrange, the rules are different than in garrison. So I could re-enlist downrange as long as I get signed off by the acting commander, the lieutenant colonel. So
Yeah.
they're like, we'll just re-enlist you downrange. It'll be fine. Do all the shit, deploy, whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm just sitting there and I'm packing my bags. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, technically I get out of the military in like 2 weeks. You guys have to send me home. I have to go and turn in all my gear. I have to, and they were like, oh shit, right? Because another problem, I was the only idiot that decided that he was going to pass the land, air, and sea hazmat transportation class. I'll say that again. I was the only idiot that passed. Like everybody else failed for a reason. And I was like, you guys are idiots. I don't know why you can't pass this. They didn't pass the course because I had to sign off on every Hellfire missile, every bullet, every piece of munition. Hello, darling. I had to sign off on all of that. So if I leave, oh, thank you, baby. They leave.
Yeah.
They were like, fuck. That day that I whispered that I was leaving, the lieutenant colonel marched into my motor pool. Normally they ask you, where do you want to re-enlist? And like, do you want to do it on top of a mountain or in a helicopter or whatever, right? He walks. Nobody even knew he was coming over. He walks straight over, looks at me and says, raise your right hand. And I'm like, huh? He's like, do you solemnly swear to defend the Constitution? Like, just going off, man. And I was like, well, there's a story, right? So let's get back to the military just running me into the coals, right? First off, I did get a re-enlistment package. That re-enlistment package was, I got to stand up. My legs are killing me. What unit do you want to go to? Right?
Okay.
In pencil, mind you, pencil like an idiot. I signed up for Fort Campbell. Guess what I got? Fort Campbell.
Okay.
You want to make a guess as to where I screwed up?
Doing it in pencil to start with.
Nope. They were honorable by that. The problem
Okay.
is that I said Fort Campbell. Yeah, I went back to 101st, but I wasn't in 101st.
Okay.
So 101st had just got back from a deployment. I was there. They immediately kick out everybody that, not kick them out, but process out everybody that's out of lack of time. And then they go and take all the new recruits and flood them back in. And like refill their ranks, right? So they're tippy top. They're at 110%. I can't get in there if I tried. But I didn't put down 101st. I put down Fort Campbell. For all my military members that didn't know this, the MPs that are over a military unit, like 101st, the MPs that are on the military police that are on Fort Campbell are not part of Fort Campbell. They're actually part of Bragg. The reason being is you can't have fraternization throughout the unit. So another unit, if Fort Campbell were to fuck up so bad that there's some type of an investigation, this whole different unit is going to oversee the proceedings, right? That way it keeps the military accountable.
Yeah.
My whole plan was to just get back on Fort Campbell soil so I can how do I put this? So I can go to my old unit, get a letter of acceptance, go to whatever unit that I was going to go to and be like, don't even in process me. I want to go back infantry. And everyone's going to sit there and be like, you're insane. Why? Like, who wants to go to the infantry, right? And I'm like, hi, I'm that dumbass. I want to go back. I couldn't do that because I would have to get a letter of release from a place that I've never been. Like, I would have to go to Georgia, get released from an entire unit that I've never been to go back to Campbell to be like, hey, there's not a shot in hell that would have ever happened. And yes, the coffee was really good.
Yep, I need one of them as well.
Oh, yeah. She made it like, because I normally do the double, so I'll run it twice. She gave me a single. I'm going to talk for days.
Have you seen the size of my cup?
I can't adult today. Nice.
Yeah, but it's like, it's as big as my face.
Nice. So I go with the 76th for one more deployment. And then I come back to Fort Campbell. And then I'm out. Like, it was, you're done. I saved all my terminal leave. So terminal leave is like when you're going to get out of the military on this day, right?
Yeah.
But you still have leave. You can take your leave and just not come back. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
So I got out of the military. Another great thing about the military is you're still under UCMJ, which is Uniform Code of Military Justice, for 90 days after you get out of the military, right?
Yeah.
This stops anybody from like, here, sign these papers. They sign it, and then you go, I'm done, and walk out, right?
Yeah.
91 days. I was back on Fort Campbell, right? Because my buddies were still there. I joined a job which I was doing what's called the Super 7. I highly don't recommend that to anybody. They openly sit there and say that this will kill you, right? Which it's 4 nights, 3 days off, 3 days, 1 day off, 3 nights or 3 days. Okay. 4 nights, 3 days off, 3 days, 1 day off, 3 nights, 3 days off, 4 days, 7 days off.
Okay.
You want to talk about getting screwed out of overtime? You guys have no idea. So after that, I was on my 7 days off. I'm going to go see my boys. I'm making pretty good money now because I got out of the military. By the way, if anybody's getting out of the military, for the love of God, please look into mining. It's very structured like the military. It's very good job, very good benefits, very good everything. And that should help a lot of soldiers and military members that are getting out of the military. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And the military sits there and packs this in your head that you're going to be burger flippers. Don't do that. Okay. You have a job, you have skills, and you have the motivation to work. You will succeed. You just need the information. A lot of people don't like to give that information.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's my ploy or my shameless plug for mining, but it's actually a really good job. And I think it would help a lot of people. After that, I went and saw my unit. I talked to the first sergeant. He was all excited. He wanted to talk to me. How's life outside? All that business. And I was like, I make more money than you to everybody. Right. It was like, even the captain was like, well, you don't make more money than me. And I was like, you're right, sir. I make more money than you too. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I make as much. Stepping out of the military and going into mining, I made as much as a 2-star general with benefits.
Nice.
Now, keep in mind,
My coffee
being
cup is nearly as big as my head. You're right.
being a 2-star
Nearly.
general, they get like a whole bunch. They don't have to pay for anything, so like all the money that they get just goes into their account. And that was kind of like my military career in a very tight, like I know long story, but very tight nutshell.
Yep.
3 military combat deployments, a lot of drinking, a lot of time not spent with the boys, and a lot of dumb shit that I didn't cover. I probably talked way too long.
Can't talk too long.
Well, if you want to know what PTSD looks like, hi.
That's a good start. Right. I'm going to take a quick 1-minute break
Right.
while I go for a piss.
Well, guess I can catch up with the comment section. Rob, your coffee cup looks bigger than your head. That's crazy. Too bad my country no longer does any mining. Where are you at, Mr. Perp? Mining what? I am a underground mobile maintenance diesel mechanic. I live in Idaho and I work in Alaska. The reason why, if you guys are on my channel and you see me for 2 weeks at a time, the Netherlands, Miss Rainey's job is based out of the Netherlands. She's actually the only American employee. Anyway, I work for 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So I fly back and forth from a man camp and I stay in a man camp. That's another reason why I tell military service members to look into mining, because like you've already proven you can be gone for a year. What's 2 weeks, right? North Carolina, what's going on? Or California, I read that wrong. Underground diesel mechanic. Yes, I work on the machines that haul the gold in and out of the mine.
Hello, Marty. There we go.
Howdy, howdy.
Thank you very kindly. So, I've been trying to get everyone involved in getting ready for this. I've been shitting myself, to be honest, because I'm still new to YouTube. This is all really new to me. So, Si, how you doing? I've asked the guys to prepare a couple of questions or whatever. I don't know if any of them have. I'm sure that they have. Have you been on the Discovery Channel?
I have not. No. The only time that I was ever on TV, there was a pretty good firefight, and cheers to this cameraman. He's kind of a badass, because we're all like taking cover and engaging, and he was standing up behind me, right? Like we're all undercover, and he's like, I'm gonna get this shot. And the only time that I was on TV, you saw right here, and it was my
Nice.
name tape, because our little glow band, whatever, had our name on the front and the back,
Yeah.
and you can just kind of see my name tape. So the only time I was ever on TV, they got my best side, not my face. Right?
Where are you all, guys? Where's the questions?
Yeah, you guys ask any questions you want. This isn't my channel, so I'm going to be a little bit more open. When did you first realize you had PTSD? Um, when I first got to Germany and like everybody was so happy and I wasn't. Like to this day, and I know this sounds really fucked up. Um, I can't stand fake happy. I can't stand it when someone comes up and they're just like just happy for no reason. It pisses me off. And I'm like, I know this sounds like I'm a horrible person, but I'm just like, you guys don't know. You haven't seen it. It's like everybody's walking around with these rose-colored glasses on, and they don't realize just how fast the world can just turn to shit.
The thing is, I think when sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine. I'm
When
done.
you sort of, how can I put it? You see everyone and they're smiling and they're getting on with their everyday life, and they don't know what's sort of happening in your mind. They don't understand what's going on in your mind when you've got something that bothers you in that way. They just can't grasp it. They can't comprehend how you feel.
Not so much that I would say. Like maybe I didn't say this correctly. Um, I went to a beautiful place. I don't know if you've ever heard of, like, I'm sure you've heard of it. It was Kabul, Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
And it's like stepping into a time zone, right? Because, and I'm gotta get to that question before it rolls on too fast. I'll scroll back up, Mr. Lyons. Understand that in the 80s, like during my lifetime, Hollywood actors used to vacation there. It was a beautiful place, right? Where I was, if you guys go and look at the map of Kabul, Afghanistan, we were just below, I think it was the Princess Palace.
Okay.
Palaces, beautiful places. And in this short time, right? This is why I'm so into politics as much as I shouldn't be. But in the lifespan of one person, me specifically, it went from this beautiful place to a war-torn country where they don't have any of the freedoms that we have. They went from
Yeah.
it to no longer having it, right? And I just see people with this fake happy ha ha laugh BS, and I'm like, you don't understand that in the course of like one presidency, our beautiful life can be torn to shreds. And I'm just like people that don't go out and realize that like society is always teetering on that ledge of the world can go to shit right now.
Yeah.
That like you don't know how to like I don't hunt, but I know how to. I don't fish, but I know how to. Uh I'm useful with a weapon system, maybe not as good as I used to be. I'm proficient at a lot of things, right? I can drive a stick shift, I can drive a motorcycle. If the world were to end tomorrow, and it's not like it's some everybody sits there and says conspiracy theorists, right? Uh, have you looked into the solar flare when they were putting in the trains across
I've not
America?
looked into it, but
Okay,
I've seen
really quick
bits on it.
story. You know the old Morse code system, the deet deet deet
Yeah.
deet. That's how it communicated. There was a solar flare that the sun admitted, right? Wiped out all electrical systems across the United States. Completely took out the our ability to communicate just because of a solar flare.
Yeah.
Scientists sit there and say that we're way past due for another one. And this happened during, humans' time on Earth,
Yeah.
obviously. If we had a solar flare right now, if the
We'd be
power in your
fucked.
house fell out right now, your phone, because everyone's so reliant on a car, this is why I say you need to have a stick shift, is you can push it to the top of a hill, roll it down, kickstart it, because batteries would like batteries sitting on the shelf would diffuse from not having power.
Yeah.
Right. In a solar flare, your phone, all the happiness, all that could be gone. And because these people aren't taking the time now to be proficient at what they do, the world would come to a screeching halt very fast. So that's why I don't like fake happy. Lions, can you resend that message I said I was going to read? Because if I scroll back, it's going to be a bit. I'll answer all your questions. Sorry.
So what do you think would help the most for people or with their PTSD?
I think the number one thing that you can give us, two things. Don't leave them alone. Right? The most dangerous place in their head is in their head, I should say. And two, they need something to do with their hands. Right? I'm not sitting there saying that run this guy into the ground and never give him a moment to himself. But like months on end where he has nothing, he doesn't feel valued, and he's alone, that is extremely dangerous for anybody that's suffering from PTSD.
I struggle with 2 days on my own.
Give me 1 second. Come on, plug in. You even looking for me? Sorry, I gotta charge my damn phone. There we go. All right. So what was that, sir?
I tend to struggle with 2 days on my own. So I self-isolate. If there's too many people around, I will retreat to the bedroom or to a different room where I can be completely alone. And the last 2 days for me, I've been pretty much self-isolating. So also I've been hiding upstairs away from people because there's been people here. And 2 days is a struggle. So by the time I got to sort of yesterday evening, I was I was struggling a bit. So yeah, any longer than that, and it'd just be too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because like, I don't know about you, because we're all different. For me, it's like a slow creep, right? It'll just slowly start building up.
Yeah.
And it's like water going into a basin, right? The more you let it fill up, the more the pressure on the bottom gets heavier, and it just starts weighing on you.
Yeah.
And Miss Rainey, bless her heart, honest to God, she will pull me out of my shit pretty quick. I don't know if you guys know this, right? My my relationship hasn't been the greatest, right? We have our problems like everybody else. And there was a small point in time that Miss Rainey and I broke apart.
Yeah.
When we got back together, like she saw my mental condition had gone over the entire house because I was alone, right? With a bottle of Jameson, just getting after it. And she told me she cried when she walked into the house.
Mm.
And I can guarantee you that if I didn't have my job, because at the time I was working 2 weeks on, 1 week off. If I didn't have that job that forced me to get out of my house, that forced me to interact with people and get away from the bottle and all that, I probably
Yeah.
be here. Like, that's not even a joke. My job pretty much saved my life because I had nobody else, right?
Yeah.
Oh, next question.
Lion said, so purpose, like after coming out of the strictness of the armed forces, having no structure.
Once again, the job, right?
Yeah.
Miss Rainey. So I left Alaska when I was 33 and I retired, right? I got disability from the military, so I got money coming in every month from the military. It's not a lot, but it's enough. And it's not even enough actually, because it won't even pay the mortgage, but it's close.
Yeah.
Uh, I had 6 figures in the bank. I was good to go, and I did about 2 months, 3 months of just drinking, just going nuts before I had the YouTube channel and all that. And she applied for a job for me, right?
Okay.
And I was waking up from a drunken stupor, right? And I was in the bathtub, like trying to osmosis water into my system. And I get this phone call, and they're asking me about why, because like keep in mind, like he said some things. I was like half there trying to come together. And he's asking me mechanic questions, and all of a sudden my brain goes flick. Okay, I can start. All right, what's wrong with the truck? And they're like, the bed won't raise. And I was like, did you check the output of the pumps? Did you check the cylinders? Did you, what's the pressure settings? Are the check valves bad? And the guy's like, oh, you have the job. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know I was in an interview. I thought they were legitimately asking what was wrong with this machine. And because she did that, that was probably like the best thing that she could have done for me.
Yeah.
Because like I would have just gone till the money's out and then walked out because I have riverfront property, gone waist deep and just been done. Because I
Yeah.
was like, fuck it, I'm here to party, have a good time. So Miss Rainey really helped me there. Always, like, I'm not telling you to go and get into a toxic relationship, but I have been extremely lucky with that woman. And she knows how to deal with my shit. And she
Yeah.
knows that I go through shit like all the time. So whenever I focus on something, I like jump at it hard. Right. So this YouTube thing I've been doing for like 3 years now, and it gives me a focus and a purpose. Whatever it is that you're dealing with when it comes to PTSD, a focus and a purpose is really going to help tear you out of that.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
that's
with
me.
me,
Sorry, I was reading it. Go ahead.
that's right. Um, with me, it's I get into my own head. So I've got issues from when I was a kid that I've had to deal with. But my latest spiral was simply because my dad passed away in December, which it happens to all of us. We all lose someone at some point. Um, my dad was the only one that I ever looked at for advice. He was the only one that I felt close to like that. Um, I'm close with my sister, but my sister's not a parent, you know?
Yeah.
And when he passed in December, I started to spiral. Now, my wife knows exactly how to handle me, how to deal with me, how to sort of push me forward. She's just sort of, in the background. Um, I'm not going to use the name, so I'll just call her Beast because she's a beast. Um, she's caught me a couple of times where I'd got to a point where I couldn't carry on. I couldn't do it anymore. I'd had enough. And I was going to that was it. So the first time she caught me, I'd got a knife in my hands, turning it. And I was trying to figure out the quickest and least painful way of putting an end to it. And she walked in, and she wasn't supposed to have walked in because she wasn't supposed to be there. At that time, I lived on my own. And as she walked in, she just looked at me and shook her head. She went, "What the fuck are you doing? What does it look like?" You know, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't see where my life was going to go. Um, and she just said to me, "Just think about your kids. What are they going to do? How are they going to feel? you might end at your misery, but what about the misery that you're leaving for them? And it didn't strike home until she said, think of the misery you're leaving for them. And that was a changing point for me. There was another time as well. I'm not going to go into it all. Yeah. And it's just moving forward from that position is it's almost impossible. So for me, I've always worked for myself. I'm not good at taking orders, doing what I'm told. I hate it. So I've always worked for myself. So I was saying Lions, sorry. Lions is Si. He was saying that getting a job and things like that. I've never had to worry about that because the trade that I've always had, I was 30 years in the building trade, and it's something that's always kept me going. Since I've not been able to do that, I've noticed the mental state that I have has changed dramatically. It's lower all the time. So yeah, getting back into that sort of being able to go back to work is really a hard position to be in. Sorry, yeah, I just wanted to say that because Si's comment.
Oh, this is a back and forth, man. This isn't all about me. And
Yeah,
I mean, like, this is how you identify with your people. Because if you're sit there and if I had a channel about underwater basket weaving and I knew nothing about underwater basket weaving, then what am I? Why do I have the channel? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like,
yeah,
this is the thing is, right now you have two different ends of the spectrum, right? I'm sitting here going like, I fall apart without structure. You're sitting there going, I can't deal with structure. So, regardless if they're looking at me and they identify with me in my way, or they are identifying with you in your way, we can still have that talk. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
And
Are
like,
there any more questions, guys?
Denny passed 2 years ago. I missed him not much the difference. I still got the man of the house job. Sorry to hear that, Mr. Lyons. I spiraled.
I
Didn't know I was going to make it after I lost my mom in '03. Losing a parent's extremely hard, right?
Yeah,
And thankfully, I haven't had to go through that yet. But like, that'll be a hell of a trigger for me. And so I had both of them passed now, but it's like the angel and the devil, but they're my uncles, right?
yeah,
My one uncle, he he had a like kind of troubled childhood, drank too much, did all the things, got a DUI, and never touched alcohol again. He went from that to being a huge sponsor in AA, a really good dude, tried to help out as many people as he could. And on the complete flip side of that, you have my other uncle who just like he was an alcoholic, but it wasn't like too bad. Like he was bad, but not extreme. And then after my grandma passed, his mom, he went nuts, right? Like just dead spot, like not even a spiral because that would slow you down. He swan dived.
yeah,
And like this dude was drinking like a bottle of black velvet a day, right? And I'm not talking the small bottles. And what happened to him, and this is going to be a little grotesque, is because he was drinking so much on the bottom of his stomach, one of the veins became inflamed because
yeah.
he was drinking absolutely so much. And he went to sit down to take a shit and he coughed so hard that it ruptured the vein on the bottom of his stomach. And he actually
Yeah.
shit his blood all out into the toilet. And that's how he died.
Oh,
Yeah. So, like,
yeah,
I have that visceral reminder in my head of, like, hey, you drink too damn much and you need to figure it out. And then I got my other uncle who died from throat cancer because he smoked too much. And then you have me, which is a great combination of both, right? So,
Yeah. I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it for everyone else. So,
okay.
your PTSD, where did your PTSD actually stem from? What was the actual occurrence that happened that brought your PTSD out the worst?
Like, I don't think that it was a single individual incident that gave it to me, but like, I could, looking back on it, I could see like I had it, but it was like, I'm young. That stuff's, BS. I'm invincible. We all remember our 20s, right? Just I'm that affects other dudes. That doesn't affect me, right?
Yeah.
And then when Levi happened, that's when it was like, oh shit, I have a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like that emotionally drained me. So I'm still not over it. To this day, I don't think I'll ever be over it. I've tried. I do everything I can to honor him, but at the same time, like it just tears me in half. So watching somebody go through something and he couldn't handle it, and I still do have the greatest respect for that man. And he decided to do what he did, which then like kick-started mine,
Yeah.
right? Because I was sitting there like, we're strong, we're invincible. This can't happen to us. Right? This can't happen to us. And then all of a sudden that happened, and I just went, I'm not immune to this, right? I'm not Superman anymore. That's probably what I was thinking. Hello, darling. Are we just
Hi,
standing
Miss
changing
Rainey.
coffee?
Hi. No,
How's your voice?
tell you the Vicks S really helps the throat with nouns. So I'm definitely sick.
Thank you, baby. I wouldn't call it full on Bolo, but others have. So kind of, somebody's got a name very close to me. I'm not an army vet, so I don't say I have the same. Here's the thing, man, is don't sit there and go like, oh, he was in the army, or don't put me on a pedestal. All right. There are people that suffer PTSD, never served a single day in the military. Like, I have the same amount of respect for someone who deployed as someone who was in a tragic car accident that can no longer ride in a car because it just causes them to freak out, right?
It happens to anyone. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We've got people in the chat right now that have suffered from domestic abuse. We've got people that have suffered from childhood abuse, all that sort of things. And no matter where that PTSD has come from, it doesn't make it any smaller an issue. So yeah, I mean, I get that completely.
My thought is this, right? PTSD is a reaction to something that happened in your life that causes you to change the course of what you would normally do as like almost a protective mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, and a lot of people in the chat probably are going to get really mad at me after I say this. Also, Lions, yes, I do find motorcycles highly relaxing. And Miss Rainey has seen me on like just bent in my head, and she's like, "Go ride a motorcycle." So yes, these are my favorite characters, right? Sorry, I wanted to answer that question before it rolled on. But I am huge in the like, I do not believe in the victim mentality and the victim stasis of this world. So when
Stop
somebody
it.
was like, he was verbally abusive, that's stupid. Okay. I'm sorry, but these are words. These are things that someone has said to you, and you decided to put weight to those words depending on who that person is to you. If you
Yeah.
didn't know me at all and I was a bum on the street and you were walking past me and I said, you're fat, you're stupid, whatever, who am I? Doesn't matter, right? So if someone's truly insulting you and you have them built up in your head, it is your responsibility to bring that person down to where they belong. Because if someone's insulting you at that level, you need to stop putting weight to their words. Now, when you have been physically abused, there is no, uh, how do I put this? There is no reason that someone should ever touch you, that you do not want to be touched by that person. You break that barrier, that is abuse. I don't care what it is, right? No, okay. Let me correct myself. If someone were to trip and fall on you, that's one thing, right? If you're a female and someone trips and falls on you and then actually grabs your boob, now that wasn't a fucking accident, right? Obviously, everything's up to interpretation because I'm sure there's somebody that actually happened to, but how many times that's been a claim is a lie. I made a fat joke
Follow that
before to
offends
somebody
me.
and I acted like it was the end of the world. And I was an awful person. That's the thing, is who are you to them? I used to think only people in the military got PTSD until a doctor straightened me out and told me he had it. Exactly. People are too soft. Yes and no, right? Everything in this world is situational. There's not one blanket statement that I can say about uh, somebody's actions that will be right. There, everything is situational. Like, perplexed me. Do you struggle with hypervigilance? I cannot stand being in a restaurant where someone can walk in behind me, right? I have asked to move tables before. I need to be able to see the restaurant from a distance. Miss Rainey knows me so much that she won't sit in the place that she knows I need to sit.
I
And if
find
we
that
sit in a
I
place
do
that I'm
that a lot.
uncomfortable, go ahead.
I do that a lot. So if I go in somewhere, not necessarily for myself, but if I go out with Beast anywhere, um, I'm aware of what's going on because I feel the need to sort of keep her protected. I mean, I
Right.
think most men do that anyway, but more so for me, it's just something that's really important for me. It's something I feel the need I have to do. I've got to be able to see what's going on, so I can sort of be alert, I guess.
It's kind of a form of control. And I get that. But at the same time, like as a man in this world, it's your job to protect everybody. And if you don't see it coming, you know,
Yeah.
uh, sorry, I'm rubbish with names. What do I call you, brother man? Me? I'm didn't expect to take that hit of smoke. My name is Fools Aaron. So it's at Fools period Aaron. And everybody on the internet just calls me Fools, man. And a lot of people are like, I don't
Mm,
want to call you Fools. That seems uh rude. And I'm like, I take it as a term of endearment. So FOOLS. That's why I say that Folo has got a name that's really close to mine. And it's
yeah.
like my dyslexia sees his name and I immediately I'm like, oh, it's not me.
So you take that as a term of endearment. For me, a term of endearment, which a lot of Americans find it really offensive, is cunt. So
Have you ever heard of Mater? Mater Group?
No.
So they're a mining. They're the group that Miss Rainey hired me onto, and they're out of Australia. So I worked with a lot of
Okay.
Australians, and they're like, "Oh, there's so many different cunts," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, and then he's like, "The one you don't want to be is a tired cunt because that means that you're like worthless," and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to get mad at all of these. I'm only supposed to get mad at a few.
Yeah, that's right. So it was originally it came from 1544. Okay, and it was a term of endearment to a loyal friend, um, uh, and that was how people would use it back then. Yeah, I agree, Rainey, Miss Rainey. I agree. My cousin lives in Alaska, and um, she's not a fan. And my aunt's in Alabama, and she's really not a fan. So yeah, it's a brilliant word. I love it. What am I pinning?
Uh, the word
Ba, ba,
cunt
ba,
in
ba, ba.
America does not go over the same as it does over in different parts of the world. Um, you call a woman that, pretty much you're telling her that the only thing that she's good for is what's between her legs, and she gets really upset about that. Now, to answer a question, I'm not sure who asked it, but it was posted a little bit ago. I just didn't want to cut you off. Um, a lot of people, like everybody, I'll openly say that everybody has some form of PTSD. The reason is because you're changing. All right, a negative. I'm going to put this the dumbest way that I can. A negative thing happened, which changed how you react. Right? You can sit there and say, "I'm the strongest in the world," whatever. But you, because of something negative that happens, now you're changing what normal people would do, and you do something different. Whatever that could be, right? Um, it doesn't need to be diagnosed. It doesn't need to be, I need to go to therapy or anything like that. A lot of people, they find ways to control it, right? But PTSD, that's like the giant blanket of PTSD. But when you get down to like the extreme cases, right? Where you're hiding in your house, you're staying away from people, you refuse to interact with anybody else. You are constantly so vigilant and so reactive that you're just tired. You know what I mean? You're just so tired and you just want it to stop. That's the very first step in a hallway of really wrong direction.
Mm,
That's
definitely.
my take on PTSD, at least.
I mean, I think it's the same with depression. It's the same sort of thing. Same feeling, same overall reactions. You do the same things. You don't want to do things. You don't want to see people. You don't want to do anything like that. Getting out of bed in the morning is almost impossible. Um, and I find, and I've only found it since I started doing this, so it's only been sort of just over a month, that a lot of people that have joined that have depression um, are they either have ADHD, PTSD, OCD, all of these things have the same traits, and it's all very similar.
See, I'm not downing what you said. All right. But here, my thing about that is like recent psychology, last 20 years. Okay. Oh, there's been so many cases of this, that, and the other thing. And it's because that we have to put labels on everything. If you don't act this way and you move in some different direction, you obviously have a problem, whether it be
Yeah,
ADHD, PTSD, but you see what I'm saying? Because they just want to, like, you're not doing exactly what you're told. You obviously need to take pills for XYZ or what. And I just, Like, there are people with ADHD. I've seen them, right? Like, you could say that I have intermittent ADHD because there are times that I just can't, right? But then I can hyper focus on something, right? There are people that just they're squirrels in a cage bouncing around, right? And that's not a lot of
Yeah.
people. The fact that we've been sitting still for this long and I was able to focus on this live stream means that do I have it? Sure. If I sat there and read, do yourself a favor and Google sociopath. Look that up. And then see how many markers you identify with. And they say if you
Yeah.
have 6 of these markers, you're a sociopath. And I'm over here with like 19 of them. And I'm like, right? Like,
Are you sure
you
you're
got to
not?
see where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not some serial killer, but if you threw a psychological book at me, it's like I have all of these. Have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
Definitely.
I do fight against the idea that like of having these labels because everybody just wants to sit there and say, you know, you're this, that, and the other
Polo
thing,
said, "I'm your next victim."
right?
It's
Where do you live
a long
again?
way to travel, mate. Long way to
Right, long way
travel.
to travel for a murder.
You'd never get caught though.
Oh, I would. I'm American. I'm lazy. I'm going to use a gun.
Fair point.
Somebody said, "What do I think of? Uh, what do Americans think of British people? We don't have a problem, man. At least my mindset. But I'm a little different, right? I spent all that time in Germany, so I interacted with a lot of British people and
Yeah.
South Londoners. Oh my god! I asked this dude to teach me how to swear because apparently I've been doing it wrong my whole life. Like, I this dude like insulted everything about me and my goldfish that I never had in one sentence. So like,
Yeah.
pretty good.
A lot of people can do that. A lot can do that. Especially the Northerners. Um,
Really?
we've had a few people have come on here and they've tried to roast me, and yeah, they didn't get very far. Um, I watch you with people that come on and the trolls, and you just
The tools
completely
are going to be
blank them.
in
You give them
every
nothing.
live stream.
Yeah. I don't get as many as you do, funnily enough. But then
So
your channel's a lot bigger. But when they come on, they'll say, "What was it? Someone said, oh, you have a wife then?" I was like, "Is that your best interpretation of an insult?"
so this is what. Sorry, my battery started to go out, so I need to charge that one again.
Uh-oh.
But how do I put this? When I first started doing YouTube, so I'm going to give you like a welcome to YouTube tutorial. When I don't even know how many subs you have, okay? But
Oh, 700, I think.
well, there you go. You're down here. The more subs you get, the farther you get pushed into the algorithm. And once you do that, then more people just show up. And because people see other people trolling you, they're like, oh, and it's going to build and it's going to build and it's going to build. And with this kind of content, you're going to get big, right? It's just one of those things. You truly stick
Yeah.
with it, you're going to advance. And you'll probably beat me. Congratulations. That's awesome. But like,
I'll keep
it's one
plugging
of
you,
those.
mate. I promise.
Say what?
I'll keep plugging your channel. Yep, I promise.
I appreciate it. It's period, Mr. Lyons. Fools, period, Aaron, not dash. I've seen my name come up so many weird ways in here. It's not even funny.
Joe, how you doing? Welcome.
Military man does not have any tattoos. Not one. Except for I have a green dot in my shoulder where my friend in high school stabbed me with a pencil, and the end of the pencil broke off inside of my arm. So it's still there, and it's like a mole, but it's like this little green dot. That's it.
I got one on my leg, but mine's grey
There you go.
from a lead pencil.
Yeah. I was sitting
What
in
else
high
did you
school. My buddy was just joking around, and they were doing that whole, you hold the pencil lightly and you go dink, right? So it came out the top,
Yeah.
and he wasn't paying attention, and he went wham, and it went dink. It's just like, come on.
Yes, Jan, you did call me. Was it a dickhead? I think you called me. But yeah, I wouldn't have called you a troll.
Just remember that trolls don't post content, and most of the time they can't use the proper English language. They will.
Yeah, that's very true.
They will send the dumbest sentences, and I just sit back and I'm like, what? Like trying to read it. Appreciate it. There's the bikes. What age do Americans finish school? 18, unless they go to college. I see movies there like 20, etc. In England, we finish at 16. We finish at 18.
I actually
We
left
start
school
at
at 15.
5. Huh?
I left school at 15. I think I was 4 or 5 when I started school.
Just due to my birthday, because like technically I shouldn't have started school when I did, but I start school and then I like immediately have my birthday. So they just let me in a year early.
Nice. What's the D word?
Dick?
I don't know what that word is. A dick. Did you
That's
call
what
me a
I
dick?
deal with.
You can type
Actors
it,
are
it's
in the
fine.
late 20s. Yeah, well, most of the actors that you see playing a kid in school, just because they age like angels and they, how do I put that? They look like they're younger than they are.
Yeah, I wondered how long
Oh,
that question would take.
What's the question?
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Got one right there. As for believing in Bigfoot, I'm not opposed to the idea, but I would be surprised nonetheless if I saw one, or if they came out and they're like, "Okay, Bigfoots are real." I'd be like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
to sit there and say that I believe in them,
The word was daddy, not dick.
oh, you can call me daddy.
No, that's just wrong, man. Wrong on so many levels.
So many people come in my chat and they're like, "Gay." I immediately go, "Well, you're underage," because like, imagine calling somebody gay. If I went up to you and you're like, "You're gay," how old do you think I am?
Not very. It
Right?
depends, actually, because some people older than me would say that. And I think it's, I don't know, before it was a bit weird before my generation. And it was a definite insult before my generation. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
it's not so much an insult anymore.
Emily,
welcome.
I stick with what I've always said. They're people. I'm not going to bed with them, so what does it bother me? Right? Like,
Exactly
oh,
that.
you're gay. I don't care. Like, you've seen my wife on my channel 100 times. I don't know how else to put that any other way. And then because of the new world, they're like, you're trans. So what if I was? right?
It's not
Like,
really an
so what if
insult,
I
though, is
was?
it?
Say that again?
It's not really an insult.
Yeah. It's like, it's a better insult to tell me that I drive a Ford.
There is that
Like-
one. Yeah.
Like,
Or a Land Rover.
don't say that. Miss Rainey will come out here and kick my ass.
Bum, 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 bum. Jacqueline, do you drive a Ford? She's hiding her face. I suspect that maybe she drives a Ford.
Okay, well, I'll narrow it down. A diesel truck, Ford, Power Stroke, that constantly breaks. I think I met a Bigfoot once. My ex-cousin, dude, straight up had to shave his back. Oh, geez. Do you believe in Loch Ness?
Yes,
Loch Ness is
Loch Ness is real.
semi-believable.
Loch
The
Ness is
reason I
real.
say that is we're finding more and more. I think like last year they found over 3,000 new species of fish in Antarctica. And because of new technology, we're able to go deeper into the ocean than we ever have.
Yeah.
And we're finding a whole bunch of new species that can live at that kind of pressure. I mean, just saying. Yeah, it's real. I've been there. There you go, bud.
Okay, mate. I think I need to bring it to a close because I'm looking at the time and my wife's due home and she'll beat me if I'm still on the computer.
Yeah.
But
Well,
thank you very, very much for joining me. I appreciate you, mate.
sorry
And
I
it's
was
been a
late.
pleasure.
I definitely got I rolled out of bed and was like, I gotta check to see when I'm on the internet. I'm an hour late. Holy shit. Right? My bad.
All good. But yeah, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it. And I'll look forward to seeing you on your stream.
I appreciate it.
Hopefully we can do it again.
I appreciate you. Thank you guys for all the comments and hanging out with us and the questions.
And much love to Miss Rainey.
Oh, she's in here. She heard you. There she is right there.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me steal your husband while you were still laying in bed and he was running to the door.
Dude. I was like, oh, because you said 9 a.m. Alaska time, and I think I'm only an hour behind them. So,
Yeah.
or I think I'm an hour ahead of.
That was my fuck up, mate, to be fair.
Ah.
Because I'd assumed that you'd be on Alaska time because of where the mine is and stuff. So yeah, that's why I fucked up. So yeah, you wasn't late. It was my fuck up.
It's all good.
Hey,
we'll have to do this again. Except
yeah,
I don't have to
I'd
give you
love
my
to, mate.
huge backstory at that moment.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay then, mate. You take care. See you soon.
Cheers, as you British
Cheers, guys.
cunts say.
And there we have it, guys. Thank you very much for getting involved and all the questions. I really appreciate it. I am gonna get off here now, but yeah, thank you, guys. See you soon.